3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to Ruse Radio episode 12, I believe. Here we are, yet again, with another guest, one of my beautiful, wonderful friends, my man here. Jesse, can you introduce yourself? Who are you? Who's Jesse?
Well, I'm Jesse, as you said.
Yes, you are.
And I've been friends with Wyatt for 8-ish years. So it's about time this kind of podcast type of thing happened.
It is about time.
We've been talking about doing this type of thing since we were 16.
I think we should go into the origin story. I think we should start there.
Start there.
Yes.
So
where does it all start?
Why don't you let everybody know?
My version of the story. Okay, so as I remember it, I'm gonna try to get everything right. I was sitting. I was doing something in my backyard. I think I had like a plastic bottle or something like that. You remember this? I had a plastic bottle and I was hitting it with a baseball bat.
No,
a plastic baseball bat?
No, it was a plastic sword.
A plastic sword. And I was I would take it and I would just smack the bottle as hard as I could, and I was trying to see how far the bottle could go. I'm pretty sure that's what I was doing.
And you tried to break it open and stuff. Yeah, so then me and my two cousins, Patrick and Andrew, came over. And that's all. Ever since then, me and Wyatt have been friends.
Well, wait, no, that's not it. So you guys came over, and I talked to you, and what really sparked our friendship was I had said something about how I wanted to watch professional wrestling.
Yeah, you had seen it like a couple times, and you were like, "Yeah, I like that. I like Rey Mysterio. I don't like what Rey Mysterio did to Big Show."
Do you remember what I said?
Yeah, it was like something like, I don't like what Big Show did to Rey Mysterio. And I was like, yeah.
You were like, yeah, he's good.
There's other people in this world that watch wrestling, because like I love wrestling. I've loved wrestling since I was 10, 9, and like I've been watching it all my life. So it's like all of a sudden I met somebody else that likes it, and it's still kind of weird liking it in this kind of society that doesn't really like. Back in like the 90s, wrestling was really big, but now I'm like the one wrestling fan, and when I can find another, I cling to them.
Yeah, it's kind of taboo to like wrestling nowadays.
Yeah, it's a little
okay,
it's
so
fake.
What I always say about wrestling, what I always tell people, because now I don't watch it like I used to. So what I always tell people is I always say, like, even if you don't like it, like there's a sportsmanship to it, and there's also like the people who can really cut promos. Like there's a certain entertainment aspect to it. Like you really have to have a way with words to be able to do what they're doing in action and play off of a crowd and things like that. Like it's a lot more than it's almost like it's like comedy almost. Like when you see someone do live comedy, they're playing off of the crowd and they're trying to constantly do that. Like it's not easy, and that's what I really respect about like
there's so many aspects of the entertainment industry going to pro wrestling, because you got comedy trying to react,
because comedy's in it,
and then there's obviously acting, like they're all playing characters up there, and then there's there's actual combat sport when they're wrestling. Like you're not exactly
which is like a
trying
whole
to kill each other.
That's like live choreography.
Yeah, it's violent dancing.
Yeah,
it really is violent dancing. It's like if boxing and dancing became a thing, like they just combined them and became pro wrestling, and like it's insane how much like.
Do you agree with the men's soap opera?
Yeah, it depends on what you watch. A lot of the times it can be really dramatic. Most of the time it's very dramatic. But like especially, WWE and mainstream stuff, it's very kind of like, it's definitely PG, like a little too PG sometimes. It's kind of directed towards kids, but like in the cheesy, not very good kind of way, not like the family oriented kind of way. And it can get embarrassing sometimes. But as long as you stick through for the good stuff. Stick with the good stuff, and then like you maybe won't be as embarrassed.
So we started with the origin with me liking wrestling and wanting to be interested in that and all that. So I guess we'll just jump to that now that we're already on that. So basically, my relationship with wrestling, my professional wrestling, I should say. I like it's weird because I watched it for a long time. A long time.
It was like 5 years.
Like it was like a big thing for me. Like I remember I used to work out thinking like I'm gonna be a professional wrestler one day. I'm gonna do it. Like I swear, I would do sit-ups like I'd be watching Raw. Like that's gonna be me. And then that never that kind of died.
It died pretty quick once you realize that like that's very difficult to do.
Well, it's difficult to do, but it's also that like I think that the people who do professional wrestling for a living, they must really, really, really have an investment in the craft because it's such a niche. You know what I mean? Like it's very specific.
You're making a career out of hurting yourself.
Yeah, almost.
Like you get hurt. Like obviously, like things in wrestling hurt. Like you're not exactly punching each other with like bricks in your hand or anything.
No.
But like you're falling off things. You're falling over constantly.
Yeah, and it's like it's it's when people say wrestling is fake. It's like you always say like, okay, well, how can you tell me that when someone does like a backflip like 20 feet in the air?
Yeah,
like that's fake.
Everybody listening right now, stand up and then fall backwards on the ground outside. Tell me how it feels. Just fall backwards.
And there's a way that they land that makes it easier. But even then, like
it's on the mat. And
it's like, the fact that they're doing that. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like the fact that they're professionals and they know what they're doing.
They're doing it off ladders and stuff like that. Like and this what's funny about it, the injuries that occur typically off like pretty like baseline type of wrestling moves. It's nothing that like you're gonna fall and kill yourself. Like that doesn't really happen. You don't get really hurt from that type of thing. It's more just like mundane things. You know, like it's like you fucking trip. Like
what was that? What's the thing where Triple H like tore his ACL?
He tore both of his quads in.
His quads.
Both of them in this, and like I think it was both of them. It might have been one, but either way, and he finished the match, and he like you couldn't tell until the match was over that he was injured. It's crazy, like what
insane.
They work through.
That's so insane.
Brock Lesnar almost broke his neck. Like Ronda Rousey finished the main event of WrestleMania.
Dude, the one where Brock Lesnar breaks his neck. What WrestleMania was that?
It was WrestleMania. I think it was fucking.
Whoever's watching this, whoever's listening to this, WrestleMania 20. Go watch the clip where Brock Lesnar does a freaking backflip and lands on his head.
It's called the shooting star press, and he lands on his head directly on it.
Not for the faint of heart, okay? Because that man is crazy. Oh my god, he lands on his head.
Yeah, from like 6 feet in the air.
Ooh.
Like
I remember when I first saw that. I was like, and he finishes the match. He won that match.
Yeah. And see, and even Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey was in the main event of WrestleMania this year, and she broke her hand in the match and finished the match.
She did?
Yeah, she broke her hand. They had to cancel like the planned like finish of the match that they had and like go with plan B. And like they kind of like messed up the finish where Ronda had her shoulder up at 1, but like she wasn't supposed to, so the ref counted 3 anyway. And so WWE is kind of like trying to make us ignore that, and because that's what they do. They make people that just like sweep everything under the rug. But yeah, so we got into wrestling when we were like 13. We really got into it. We would fight each other, like pretend that we would do like straight up professional wrestling.
So this is a little factoid for whoever's listening to this podcast, whoever's watching it. If you've made it this far, I'm gonna trust you. I'm gonna tell you this fact. If you go to Wyatt's Awesome on YouTube, you type in IWE, Internet Wrestling Entertainment.
What a great name! What a great.
Wyatt's Awesome on YouTube. That's the channel. IWE. You'll find yourself some legendary wrestling matches between Maverick. That was my wrestling name.
I don't remember mine. Mine is some
Maverick.
Stupid ass.
And you know what's crazy? I'll tell y'all right now. Ruse. Where Ruse came from was actually when I used to do professional wrestling with my friend Christian.
And me.
And you, yeah, we would do it. And I had my entrance theme was the song Ruse by Chevelle. And so I just thought, why not? So I just used that for a name. And then after a while, my original rat name was much worse than this one. That's a story for another day. So I switched that one over to Ruse, and I was like,
well,
yeah.
watch it there, buddy. You better not say that.
the story,
if you know, you know.
The story for another day. If you know, you know.
You know.
But Ruse is the new name.
It's a better name.
It's much better than the last one, and I've developed I think that the name's come a long way, but yeah, that it all originated from professional wrestling with my friends.
That was his name. When he came out, he was like, "I'm Ruse."
Well, and I would cut promos as Ruse.
And it was like a whole character, and
I mean, I could still do it, dude. Cutting promos is fun.
It's so much fun. Just talk to a wall. You just gotta talk to a wall, and it's then
you guys think you know about me.
You're gonna beat that wall's ass. Go tell that wall you're gonna beat its ass.
Well, I think in retrospect, I think that the way I look at things now, I think everything's kind of connected in a way. And so when you're doing that, when you're trying to cut a promo or whatever, you're trying to create an idea out of that, what you're really trying to do is you're exercising your thoughts, and you're trying to make something out of nothing. It's like what you're doing when you're making a song. It's what you're doing when you're doing anything. And so you really are just trying to exercise that muscle in your brain, and you always have to do it. You always have to keep that astute, I guess.
Yeah. You really got to be a character to be a professional wrestler,
or to be a rapper, or to be anything. You got to be a character,
and this is
especially nowadays. Brand is everything nowadays. Mm-hmm. So you have to stick out more than the other people, because the competition is so much bigger, and that goes for anything: professional wrestling, the rap industry, the rock industry, every single one. There's a bunch of people, and there's more than there's ever been, because everybody's already kind of done the thing that you're trying to do. You have to be really smart about it, and it's hard. I mean, even with the way you approach trap music, I feel like if I were to do if I were to do trap music, I would want to do it in a way where it were unique and it was my own take on it, because you can't just do the same thing as everybody else. It's really hard.
You gotta really try not to. And the same thing when you're doing basically any type of anything. If you're creating anything,
taking pictures, if you're doing videos, you want to have your spin on it, but it's not easy to do that while also being completely unique, because you're
always inspired by something.
Yeah.
You're always my entire life is influenced from wrestling, because I've been watching it my entire life, and you stopped watching in 10th grade.
Yeah.
And we both until we were in 10th grade, from 8th grade to 10th grade, we would not watch it.
I think I don't know if it was 10th or 11th grade, because I feel like I watched it for a few years.
End of 10th, because I remember it happened around the same time that you started dating your girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
And so right around that time, that's when it was right in the probably more into junior year, but mostly during that time, it was probably more 11th grade now that I think about it.
I'll say that I watched wrestling right about up until the point where the Undertaker's streak died. So whoever's a wrestling fan listening or watching right now, it's
the one person.
It's that moment when the Undertaker's streak died, and that's one of my final memories with professional wrestling.
His love for professional wrestling died.
Honestly, when I saw that happen, dude, it really, a part of me died a little bit, inside my heart. I couldn't believe it. And over time, it got worse. Okay, so whoever's listening, let me explain a little bit. Brock Lesnar returns out of nowhere, and this was kind of interesting, because this was right after The Rock returned out of nowhere, and I was a big fan of wrestling when The Rock returned. The Rock returned, and that was crazy. I remember where I was. I was at my grandma's house, and I was watching Raw, and I was I had to watch Raw. I had to watch it, because I was watching it every week. It's a big deal to me then. So I was watching it, and I was at my grandma's house, and out of what happened before The Rock came out? Do you remember?
No, they
when he first returned. Do you remember?
I do.
What was going on?
They were announcing the host of WrestleMania, and everybody was speculating it was going to be The Rock, and it was The Rock.
Yes. And I remember I read this on forums because I was all about the forums and all that. I was a big wrestling fan at this point, so I was reading the forums and everything. So I was figuring The Rock was going to come out, but I was like, oh, probably not, because The Rock was a movie star at this point. It's hard to think about where everything was.
Yeah.
Because now it's been a few years. But, at this point, The Rock had not been on wrestling for so long. How long had it been? 15 years?
No, not 15. It hadn't
10?
been that long. It was...
At least 10.
He was... I don't remember. What year did this happen? It was WrestleMania 20... No, he did it for
27 or 8.
No, he did it for 27. Yeah, it was 27. Yeah, so that was around WrestleMania 35, so that was 8 years ago.
Yeah, it was
that was
2001,
and he left in I think 2003. So it was 7 to 8 years, and then he was gone.
Yeah, so it was a big deal. Because, even then, The Rock left and he became a big movie star.
Yeah,
that was what everyone knew him as. When I, growing up, I didn't even realize The Rock was a wrestler at first. I got into wrestling and then I learned that.
I always knew that. As a wrestling fan.
Well, if you're a wrestling fan,
if you were around in the 90s
yeah.
at all, you know that's what he did before.
If you smell what The Rock's cooking, you'd know that.
Yeah.
But, no, dude, so it's so weird because I remember that moment when he came out and it was crazy. Mm-hmm. It was the craziest thing I had seen live up until, other than CM Punk and his what's the word? Pipe bomb moment. Other than his pipe bomb moment, that was the craziest thing I had seen live watching professional wrestling. Was The Rock returning. What in the... What?
Yeah.
The Rock coming back to WWE? No. It felt unbelievable to even say when it happened. You felt like watching it was wrong. It was so crazy.
Yeah,
Raw went over for 20 minutes, and he had a crazy promo.
We were 13 when this was happening.
My god, I remember that, dude. I really remember. But the reason I'm saying all of this is because this happens, and then The Rock, he says I'm gonna show up to Raw every week. I'm gonna come back every week. Blah 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 blah, and everyone's like, oh my god, it's The Rock. He's back. He's really back. He's gonna show up every week. And then he shows up every now and then.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that happens. And then Brock Lesnar returns, which is also crazy.
Yeah.
And Paul Heyman returns, which is also crazy. That's almost even crazier.
Yeah.
And then they barely show up. But was that before or after he won the championship?
Who won? The Rock?
How long did it take for Brock Lesnar to win? Actually, yeah. Did The Rock or Brock Lesnar win the championship first? Because that's what's so annoying, is that they keep giving these guys, the friggin', top championship, and then these guys are part-timers. That's... And everyone as a wrestling fan already has this complaint.
Yeah, it was, I think I don't remember. No, it was... I'm pretty sure The Rock had it first and then Brock did, but yeah. So it's just crazy, how the mindsets we were in back then about this whole thing, and how I still kind of am, but it's just part of my life.
What wrestling is? Yeah, it's interesting how it's also part of that whole subculture thing.
Yeah.
I feel when you're a big enough fan of something, especially when you get into it as a kid, professional wrestling is a good example because it's hard to understand exactly what's so appealing about something like that. There's a certain aspect to it, and it could just be a nostalgia aspect.
Yeah,
sometimes
it could be. A lot of times it is.
Some stuff is so cheesy in professional wrestling.
It's
It really
is. There's a lot of cheese.
But some of it's good, Goldust. He's all cheese, but the cheese is what makes him good. You know what I mean? Like the cheese
That's
is him.
Yeah, he's just creepy kind of, but like, yeah.
But he is that.
Well, he was.
Well, I mean, whenever he's gold dust, that's what he is.
Right now, he's going to a different company.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, Goldust is facing Cody, but Cody Rhodes. The brothers at the Cody's promotion, AEW. Yeah, at their next pay-per-view. So
they have a different
Dustin
thing.
Rhodes versus Cody at Double or Nothing.
You want to tell them about your podcast idea while we're in the middle of this wrestling stuff?
So I had an idea that like why I just start watching regular WWE programming or other wrestling programming regularly, and we review it, except like I don't give him any backstory. He just starts watching. I just want to know what he says about it, especially at first, and then he'll catch on after like a couple weeks, but then we can just keep reviewing it. But
the idea is that you have like someone who's
there's different perspectives on the entire thing. I want to know how a non-wrestling fan, out of it wrestling fan, understands what's going on, and I think it's a good idea. I'd have it one day.
Watch out. Well, and the idea, I think it's like also, it's not just the non-wrestling fan thing. It's more so a returning wrestling fan along with someone who's been along the whole way. I think that's more what it is, because it's like someone who's seen some of this stuff, but they fell off, and then the other person's been there the whole time. So it's kind of like, I can tell you some stuff, I can give you some of the tidbits, but beyond that, like because it's different than somebody who's going in completely cold turkey. Like if you went in completely cold turkey, you wouldn't know what's going on. I'm kind of like stuck in like wrestling from like 4 or 5 years ago. Like the fact that Kofi Kingston got a crazy push recently is crazy.
Yeah, he won the
That's nuts. I remember when I used to play the WWE video game, and I would give Kofi Kingston imaginary pushes, and I'd be like, "Imagine if this happened."
And now it has happened.
And now it really happened in real life. Yeah. Man, I didn't think this would turn into such a wrestling podcast. We got so much wrestling stuff in here. You got any other wrestling stuff you can tell me while we're in the midst of this? You got anything else? Anything good?
Like anything happening right now?
Yeah, you got anything? I haven't been following it. I never follow it.
Basically,
what's going on with Rey Mysterio? I know he returned.
Rey Mysterio,
did he retire?
Well, there was like a draft on. No, he didn't retire. He's better than ever has been.
Really?
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's like 50? He's like up. I think upper 40s, maybe low 50s. I think he's definitely over 40s. He's not 50 yet.
Is Sin Cara still around?
Not really. No. He is sometimes. But
I still remember that botched entrance.
And goes. Yeah, that's not the.
No one will ever forget.
That's not the same person.
Was it?
It was a different person.
Was it a different person?
Yeah,
I remember that.
That wrestler from there, he's a wrestler in Mexico. He's still good, just like didn't work out.
How wild.
So excited.
Okay, so what's going on with Rey Mysterio? He's still doing stuff?
He was drafted to Raw in the WWE draft.
Oh, they still do that?
Yeah.
So what's going on with WWE right now? This is a preview of our upcoming podcast where this guy asks how it's going on. I'm confused.
Basically, right now in WWE, they just did WrestleMania. They just did the big old, draft that they do after WrestleMania usually, and now. A lot of wrestlers are wanting to leave the company because of they don't like how they're treated in the company, both backstage and in their booking. So people are kind of wanting to leave and go do other stuff because wrestling on the indies is more realistic now than it ever has been. Mm-hmm. So people want to go do that instead because they'll get booked better. But people come and go, and some major stars are leaving. Like Dean Ambrose, a big star. He was over the past 5 years ish.
Well, he was always better in the indies, though.
Yeah, so he's leaving.
Even when I was watching wrestling, I remember going back and watching his indie promos and being like, I hope they pulled this guy out of me because this guy's really John Moxley.
Yeah,
that's who Dean Ambrose is supposed to be.
Yeah, he's
that guy.
He's not.
But he's not because the way that they book him.
Exactly.
And the way that they write his character.
So he's leaving.
I mean, it's the same thing as somebody like Kofi Kingston. It's why would Kofi Kingston be down for so long? It's because of the way that they book him. Obviously, he's always been this talented.
Exactly.
It's not anything about like who the guy is. It's just the fact that it's really hard to get that opportunity, especially when someone like Vince McMahon's running your company and he likes these big dudes who have these big muscles and know what they're doing and look like they could be on a poster.
Exactly.
Like,
it's just how he is.
It's weird because it kind of feels like it finally is kind of making this weird shift.
It's becoming
kind of happening.
It's changing.
Slowly.
Yeah, slowly, but it's changing. You remember?
We still got Brock Lesnar. Like,
he's at least not world champion anymore.
Not
you remember
anymore.
The Wyatt family?
Yes.
You remember Luke Harper?
Yes.
He's leaving the company.
Is he?
Yeah.
What's going on with Bray Wyatt and Eric Rowan?
Rowan he goes by Rowan now.
Just Rowan?
Yeah, and he's basically Daniel Bryan's bodyguard because Daniel Bryan's a prick. And
that's fitting. They already had a relationship before, so that makes sense.
Exactly, and he's like, it's funny. His name on like the big screen is Rowan, but like the O is like the recycle sign, and it's all green.
Because of Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. So
it's funny.
And
for those who aren't familiar with professional wrestling, Daniel Bryan is
an asshole vegan. Basically, he wants to save the environment, but he's gonna force it down people's throats and make them feel bad about it.
So nobody likes recycle mark. It's great.
So that's happening.
That's going on.
Yeah. And what else is going on? There's a lot going on, dude. I can't keep up. It's like 5 hours a week, plus NXT, plus so many other promotions. I can't keep up with wrestling half the time. But like I try to. I keep up with what I can.
There's a lot. And that's just WWE. Yeah. Like, imagine if you were trying to keep up with another promotion.
I am.
You are?
I'm keeping up with like multiple.
What other one?
Well, I'm going to a Ring of Honor and
do you follow
New
Ring
Japan
of Honor?
show. Yeah, they're doing.
I know Ring of Honor is like a lot more about the physicality.
They used to be.
No? Is it a lot about
it's
the
more
promos?
like it's more like how TNA used to be.
How so?
In the way TNA used to be.
How
Just
so?
think about that. Just, they use old washed up WWE people sometimes, and they're kind of like their booking
in a bad
is weird.
Way?
Yeah, sometimes, but like usually it's fine. Just recently it's been like iffy. But like, and they're combining with New Japan for like a tour. You know, the wrestlers will all go on the same tour. I'm going to one of their shows when they're coming to Michigan, so I follow them. But yeah, you know, it's wrestling is it's wrestling.
It's like anything else.
It really
it's
is
constantly changing. It's always moving. You can't control it. You can't control what the people are gonna want to see.
You can't. Judge
it just
people
happens, and then you gotta go with the flow.
Exactly.
I mean, like that's what's always been interesting about professional wrestling when I was watching it, at least.
Yeah.
It was that you know, you can't. Sometimes like things will happen, and the way that people react is what determines the way that the story goes beyond that. Like if people react the wrong way, like the way that the it wasn't intended to, like they have to respond to that. Like there's interesting facets to professional wrestling that I think that it doesn't exist in any other medium.
Yeah.
Like you can't duplicate that, or you can't say that's the same thing, and I think that's what's so interesting about it. It's really about people and the way that people react. Like, you know, you have good guys and you have bad guys, but sometimes it's not quite like that because of the way that people respond. Yeah. If you're in a certain city, people respond differently, and so you have to act differently.
Things. They'll cheer for random things.
Like, if John Cena's in a certain city, like people boo him, like random
people
stuff like that.
John Cena.
What was that one ECW pay-per-view where everybody booed him?
One Night Stand.
What was it? One Night Stand. That is
he faced Rob Van Dam, and
that's a great match too.
The crowd was so anti-Cena. Everybody in the room hated him and wanted.
It's like
him
a classic
to
clip. It's classic.
It's classic. He threw his shirt into the crowd and they threw it back.
Like a couple times, like not even just one time.
Yeah, multiple times. Everybody keeps throwing it back. That's great.
But like that's what's so interesting about it to me is that it's so much more than just, you know, men's soap opera, or even just like the physicality of it. There's more to it than that.
There's
like,
the storytelling.
There's a lot that's going into all that.
It's like watching like a TV show live, and they're fighting each other, and it's based on competition, but like sometimes it just isn't very good. That's the basic stuff.
Yeah, and like sometimes it's just like any other show. Sometimes there's like storylines that don't really hit you as well as the other ones.
It's kind of like a male soap opera because it's dramatic and it's like sports, but like over the top sports, and it's like people are flying all over the place, and it's very much so kind of like a circus, but like, you know, less animal abuse. And I mean that. There's no animal. Usually not animal abuse. If there is an animal abuse in wrestling, I do not support it. No. Just like I don't support circuses. But that's what the wrestling is based off of.
Is there a wrestler that goes by the name The Animal?
Batista.
Yeah, he got abused. He got abused at WrestleMania. That's animal abuse. He got his
nose ring.
That's animal abuse right there. If he got his nose ring pulled out. Well, it's a little bit of animal abuse, don't you think?
Brock Lesnar is the beast. Chris Benoit.
That's animal abuse if someone abuses Brock Lesnar.
And Chris Benoit was the Wolverine, but we're not going to talk about Chris Benoit.
Who's Chris Benoit? I don't even know who that is.
We're not. I don't. I don't really know if I want to talk about.
I don't know what you've been talking about, bro.
Do you work for WWE?
Yeah.
Basically, okay.
PR.
We're gonna give. This is gonna get
HR.
Is gonna get depressing for a second. I'll explain.
Are you gonna explain Chris Benoit?
I have to explain it.
Oh no!
So Chris Benoit,
I was just kidding. I didn't think you'd actually explain. All right, so let's slow this down for a second. Chris Benoit. Who is Chris Benoit?
He is a really good professional wrestler. Okay, was a really good professional wrestler, but due to a combination of multiple things, including drugs, steroids.
Well, okay. Let's. So we don't know exactly what made Chris Benoit do what he did. No one really knows. The speculation is that it was brain damage.
It's more than speculation. It's brain damage and all the concussions. And this is like, you know, the research that has been done on what happened is that he had a lot of brain damage, a lot of concussions, and a lot of steroid use because he used a lot of steroids, and they are known to cause brain damage and like things like that, cause people go crazy sometimes, and drug abuse. Obviously, drug abuse might do that to you. And so what Chris Benoit did.
Was it like 2003?
No, not that early. It was 2007, I think.
Oh, really?
2007. I remember the day I found out about this. I was watching Raw.
You were a fan of wrestling at the time.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, Vince McMahon, the owner of WWE, comes on Raw and says that Chris Benoit died, and everybody's really sad. They like gave him a whole tribute show, and then a couple days later, they find out that he not only did he hang himself, but before that he killed his wife and child. And due to this, WWE has blacklisted Chris Benoit from their record books. Like, you can't search it anywhere on their network. They'll never say his name ever. And
haven't they done things like recently to refer to him?
No,
because it is kind of strange in a way. But I mean, like, it makes sense because they want to disassociate it. Yeah, it's a PR thing, but it's so odd. Like, you can't find, and the way that they have been about it since is like just pretend that it didn't even happen. Like, they just don't say anything.
Yeah, ever since Vince came out,
it's obviously Vince McMahon's decision.
And he came out one day and said from a base because like they found out about this. He said that he's never going to be mentioned again on the show.
Yeah,
and he never was.
I mean, like, like I said, it does make sense, but it's also strange. It's also strange because I mean, like, from my viewpoint, the way I've looked at things recently, at least, I think that it's like the Axe thing.
Yeah,
you can't say that like the music that he made is worthless because you don't like who he is or all those things. Like, it still is what it is. I would say no matter what happens with Chris Benoit, his matches still were what they were.
Yeah. You
shouldn't devalue them or say they didn't happen. It's weird. It's just a very weird way to look at things.
I don't. It's kind of like the whole cancel culture thing. We're not going to get socio.
But it's before all that. This is like 2003.
2007.
I don't know why I keep saying that. But even then, 2007, that's like it's still a good 6 years before all that.
It's insane. But okay, to a more happy topic. What other things do you like? Are you excited for Avengers Endgame to come out?
Oh yeah, let's talk about Marvel movies. So Avengers Endgame is coming out. I mean, at the time we're recording this podcast, it is 3:05 a.m. in the morning, the day after 4/20, 4/21. So I don't know if Avengers is out yet. based on whenever this comes out, but we can still speculate here. What do you think's going to happen, Jesse? I mean, I'm excited. What do you think's going to happen? You got any predictions?
I guess, spoiler alert, if I'm not even gonna, you've probably seen a lot of the movies, at least. You've probably seen at least Infinity War for anybody watching this. But I think that Captain America and Iron Man are unfortunately going to pass away. Everybody else
That's what I've been
are
saying.
kind of heads or tails. I just feel like it's the most likely thing to happen. I think that my prediction is, this is completely my speculation. I hadn't even originally come up with this. But basically what they're going to do is they're going to defeat Thanos as they are, and then they're going to go back in time and have to defeat him again. In order to stop him from doing the snap. I don't know.
The snap was really good. You had a good snap. Thanks. Can't duplicate it. Well, that's a good prediction. I mean, I can't even have a better prediction than that. I think yours is good. I was going to say something like that. I was going to say that probably Iron Man, Captain America are going to die. Who else is going to die? I mean, come on. How are they going to make an Iron Man 4? What are they going to do? Yeah. Captain America, another Captain America movie? What are they going to do? Maybe. But like, it would make sense if they killed those guys.
And we know that Spider-Man's coming back.
Exactly.
At least we think.
The movie's an illusion.
The movie could have, I don't know.
Spider-Man, what is it? Not Homecoming. Is it Homecoming?
Far From Home.
Spider-Man Far From Home is going to be an illusion. Yeah. It'll actually be a dream from the dead Spider-Man because he's going to die in Infinity War.
That's depressing.
Or I'm sorry, not Infinity War.
Endgame,
yeah. But no, for real, I think you're probably right. Who else would die? Like, I mean, they probably will have a curveball.
No, I'm sure there'll be plenty of twists and turns. Yeah. I think it's going to be a great ride. I love Marvel
wasn't
movies.
It filmed at the same time that the first half was filmed?
I don't know.
I thought that's what they were saying. Like I remember when the first one came out, they were saying like the second half was filmed at the same time. Like it was all already filmed.
I don't know about that. I don't think
if it's true, that's crazy. Really? That means like they had filmed 6 hours worth of a movie, and they were just waiting to put the whole. I mean, that would make sense because it's two parts.
But I don't know because like the
second. They already knew how it ended.
Well, the second movie doesn't like it's set like further in the future. It's like it's. Like I think it's like a couple years past or something, or something happens. I don't know how long past, but like it looked different in the trailers. So I don't know.
I haven't seen Captain Marvel either.
You haven't seen? It was good. It was good. I like Captain Marvel.
I think you said it was alright.
Yeah, it wasn't the best, but like,
out of 10, what do you give it out of 10?
I give it like a 6.5, strong 6.
What would you give Infinity War out of 10?
I give it like on a purely cinematic standpoint, it's probably like 8, but on my enjoyment scale, it's like a 9.5.
9.5?
I could watch a movie over and over again.
Wow.
Same with Thor Ragnarok is 10.
Really?
Yeah.
You give that a 10?
Yeah.
It's a good movie, but a 10?
I can watch it over and over and over and over again.
If I were rating Infinity War, Ragnarok. Okay, if I were rating Ragnarok, because that's a great movie. But if I were rating it, I'd say like just on entertainment.
Just on however you want to rate it. How much?
You were going off entertainment, were you?
I said like from a cinematic standpoint.
From a cinematic standpoint, I would give
if you're being a critic.
I give it like an 8.
But on enjoyment scale, how much did you enjoy it?
8 out of 10. I'm not like super I don't like 10s out of 10. I feel like a 10 out of 10 is like for the best movie in the world. Like it's the best movie I've ever seen. A 9 out of 10 is even like.
Well, enjoyment scale is different because like I can watch a movie over and over and over again. But on purely everything standpoint, like it's not a perfect movie. Like it has to be really enjoyable. It has to be really well made.
What do you think is the best movie you've ever seen? Yes.
Ugh,
yes. I love that film.
Oh, it's not. It's the best movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, what's the best movie you've ever seen?
I think The Shining is up there.
Really? The Shining's a great movie. You know what's so interesting is that Stephen King hates that movie.
Yeah.
He detests it. He's like, no, that's not mine.
Well, he liked Pet Sematary, and I think that's why he
The new one?
Yeah.
Did he really? That's interesting because he hated The Shining.
Yeah,
He hated The Shining. He liked the new Pet Cemetery. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's odd.
I think like I give 10 out of 10s if there's nothing I would change about it. If there's nothing I would change about something, I'd give it a 10 out of 10.
So what is it? What's your favorite movie? What's the best one?
I think The Shining is probably like 1 or 2. I don't know. I don't want to be that guy. Pulp Fiction's a great movie.
One movie that I saw that really blew my mind was not Daryl. What's the movie with who's the super good actor? He just retired. He's English, not Benedict Cumberbatch. Dude, I need to remember his name. He's Daniel Day-Lewis.
No.
Not There Will Be Blood. Because that's not Daniel Day-Lewis. You know what movie I'm talking about?
There's a lot of Daniel Day-Lewis movies.
He has like an oil plantation. You gonna Google it?
Yep.
Daniel Day-Lewis. Just say
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
Daniel Day-Lewis. I'm trying to remember. It's a great movie, man. I'm trying to remember. I know the name of the movie. So embarrassing.
What about... How old is it?
It's not... let me see. There Will Be Blood. That's what it is. Did I already say that a million times?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There Will Be Blood. Okay, that's the movie. There Will Be Blood, dude.
I haven't seen that, but it's one of those movies that like they say that you need to see.
Dude, like there is a couple of scenes in that movie. The ending of that movie, like it's so good. It's so well done, and there's a lot of that like reading between the lines thing going on. 9.5 out of 10. That's one of my favorite movies I've ever seen.
Have you seen the movie? Great movie. Have you seen the movie Arrival?
No, but you've told me about it.
I don't know if I'd give it a 10 out of 10, but it's one of my favorite movies I've seen in the past decade.
That's the one with Amy Poehler, right? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
I'm just kidding. But who's the female actress in that movie? Do you know who it is? I'm trying to remember her name. She's in a decent amount of movies.
I know. I just can't remember right now. It was. I gotta go to the cast. Okay.
What's her name?
Amy Adams.
Amy Adams. That's why I said Amy Poehler. Amy Adams.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Renner. Yeah. No, that I love
the
that
girl
movie.
from Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
Her.
Yeah. Her.
But
yeah, no, I love that movie. I love that movie a lot. Like, it's fantastic.
I've heard it's a good film. He says it's true. Jesse says it's true.
I do.
He does.
I do.
He agrees.
I do.
He agrees with the critics. He says, guys, they're right. Jesse knows. Jesse, what else do you know? Tell us more. What more do you know? You got any other factoids in your brain?
1 + 2 = 3.
No. Serious? What else you got? That's pretty good. That was a good one.
I don't know.
Come on, man. You got more than that.
More than what?
1 + 2 = 3. Come on. Don't cough. Come on, give me something. Don't cough.
I'm not allowed to cough.
You're alright. You can cough. But come on.
What else do I don't know? I know.
Give me something.
Is this a fun fact?
Yes.
About what?
No. Anything. Yeah, I love it.
Anything. The worst food I've ever had is like fries. They were like these off-brand, like chip fries that I got from a vending machine, and they did not give me anything nutritionally.
What do you mean? Like it was like shaped like French fry?
No, it was like on the floor here. Yeah,
Okay, so like over on the floor here we got these like ranch fries, like those hot fries. Like I can even show you.
Yeah.
For those visual viewers, they can see them, but it's like the ranch fries, hot fries, cheddar fries,
something like that. And like It was completely the opposite of nutritional. I don't understand what happened. It felt like I was eating air. Like it didn't fill my stomach. It didn't give me anything. It felt like it disappeared before it hit.
It was like those negative calories.
It just completely felt like it was sucking my life away. And that might be the worst snack food I've ever had.
Wow. Good story. That's a good one.
It's fucking disgusting.
It sounds gross.
I
can't even think of the worst snack I've ever had. Oh, pork rinds.
Really?
Pork rinds are really bad.
I've never really had a pork rind.
I don't like them. Have you ever? You've never eaten one? Ooh. Like I don't know how people enjoy them.
You like candy corn?
It's been a minute since I've eaten pork rinds, but I bet you that if I ate a pork rind, I'd be like, "What in the world?"
Do you like candy corn?
Sort of.
I like candy corn.
I can enjoy it.
I like it.
I can't eat a bunch of it, but I can eat a little bit. Okay.
Fair enough.
I get it.
Do you like pineapple on pizza?
No.
I mean, I tried it once.
No.
I tried it once, and it just made the pizza a little sweeter. It didn't really.
Okay, I can do it if I'm hungry.
I can't
I'll say that.
I hate mushrooms on pizza.
I can do that.
I hate that.
I can do mushrooms, but I can't do pineapple.
I like green peppers on my pizza.
I can do that.
Green peppers. Yeah, I like green peppers and onions.
I like a fun pizza.
Maybe
I like a
sausage.
pizza with a little pizzazz, but you throw a pineapple on there, then you're mixing it all up. You're messing with it.
How do you feel about greens on a pizza? Like spinach or something like that?
That's cool.
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like I don't know. I mean,
they mix
pineapple on pizza. It's kind of whatever.
Sweet.
It's just kind of whatever. It's I don't have a strong opinion about it.
I'm not leaning right or left about it. I'm just on the fence. I'm on the fence on this one.
I'm not on the fence. I know how I feel, and how I feel is just whatever. It's not great. Yeah. It's not horrible. It's just there. Like
it's just a thing. It's just there.
It's just there, and people are so outraged about it. I think I don't understand. It feels like I'm watching people fight.
Yeah, with this pineapple on pizza debacle.
What a weird word.
Debacle? I love that word.
Say it 3 times.
Debacle, debacle, debacle. Debacle, 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 debacle. Hold on. Debacle, 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 debacle. Hold on.
It doesn't sound
debacle, 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 debacle.
It doesn't sound like a
debacle,
real word.
Debacle, 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 debacle.
It doesn't sound like a real word anymore. Debacle? Like, what the fuck is that?
It is a weird word, isn't it? Debacle. Debacle.
It sounds like it doesn't.
It's got phases going on to it. Debacle.
Those are called syllables.
What? What are you, an English teacher now?
It could be.
What's next? This guy's gonna be a psychology man.
A what?
You're gonna be a psychology man, aren't you?
What does that mean?
You're gonna be a man of the psych.
Sure.
The psyche. He'll read your brain before you even know.
I don't think you understand the purpose of a psychologist.
He will. You guys think he won't? He will.
What?
He will. You guys think he won't? He's already reading your brain right now. Look at him.
Don't look at me.
Look at him. He's reading your brain. This guy, he's got talents.
Thanks.
No, you're welcome. Dude, I'm serious. Good for you, man. It's good to have a career path.
I mean, it's gonna be a horrible ride, but I'm gonna get there if I'm lucky.
Very optimistic.
I gotta get into grad school, and that's not exactly the easiest thing to do.
Why not?
Because it's the grades.
See, I'm not going to school. Tell me more. What's so hard about grad school?
Well, grad school, for one, you need to apply to a fuck ton of different places, and it's expensive to apply.
You can't go to grad school with Mott?
You could. It wouldn't exactly be the best education. I don't know if they have grad school. I don't know if Mott has grad school.
Because I mentioned that's why I want to go to Mott's.
I mean, you got to go to a university most of the time. But it's for grad school. It's for 2 years to get your master's typically, or to get your doctorate. I'm going for my master's, and I need to interview places. I need to set things up, and it's just difficult because it's expensive, and you have to have really good grades to get into good grad schools. So, and my grades they're okay, but not exactly the best. And grad schools want the best usually. I mean, I could probably get into a couple, at least I hope I can. But
Nah, man, but it's like college is a trap. It's a trap, but it's a trap that we all fall into because it's a perfect trap. Because you have to fall. It's like, I'll spend all this money. I'll take some student loans. I'll do that. I need it. Kidding. Trapping you just like everyone else. That's what I'm so scared of. I'm so scared they're going to trap me. They're going to trap
You're
me just
already
like everyone
trapped.
else. I know, I'm trapped no matter what.
If you eat any fast food, you do anything in America, you're trapped. So you're trapped here and you can never escape.
You have a point. But I mean, at the same time, I'm not financially trapped yet. I'm not in debt.
I'm in debt. I'm in a lot of debt. I have student loans. So
That's what I'm worried about. I'm scared of that.
I don't have a credit card.
Like being in student debt, having a bunch of student loans and like being in debt like that. Oof.
I agree.
Too much. If I had that on my brain, like I already have enough on my brain. I don't need to think about how the fact that these things have interest and like I have to worry about that.
It's not fun.
Oh no.
It's not fun.
No, too much. Too much because I know I wouldn't pay it within a year.
You don't have to pay it within a year.
Yeah, but the interest. Man.
Look, you just can't keep up with it. It's something that everybody gotta do. Something. At least like in America. Well,
How do you do it, kids? Jesse,
this has been fun.
this has been fun. I agree. It's been a long podcast, so we need to find a way to tie it up. How do we tie it up? We talked about wrestling. We talked a little bit about college. We talked a little about some stuff. How do we tie it up? How do we like bring this all around? What do we say? Like, what is Jesse? What is Jesse supposed to be to all these people? If they listen this far, like, what is the point? What are we doing with Jesse? What is your life? What are you trying to do, man? What are you trying to do? What's happening? What do you want to do?
Get my word out there. I mean, I like talking. Figure I might as well put a camera up and see what happens, I guess.
Yeah.
And hopefully people enjoy it. I mean, I don't know. I kind of ramble and, I'm just talking. And maybe some people like it. I like talking.
I mean, that's what I do. That's what I think works with podcasts. That's what I think works with anything.
Yeah.
I mean, when I watch a podcast, really what you're trying to do, a lot of people, it's interesting. I heard Gary Vee say it once, and it's an interesting way to look at it. It's like some people aren't going to go on your Instagram and look at your Instagram every single day. Some people aren't going to go, yeah, right. Some people aren't going to go on your Facebook and look at your Facebook every single day. They're not going to go on your YouTube and look at that every single day, even if you have all of those.
Yeah.
But they will listen to your podcast. Like,
Speaking
it's random
of
little
which,
things like that.
Follow me on Twitter at jbrown663x2.
This guy's way better at Twitter than me.
Same on Instagram.
Yeah, this guy gets his Twitter done. J Brown, what is it?
663x2.
663x2. J Brown 663x2.
It means Satan, but I'm not just straight up about it.
663x2?
Yeah.
How?
Because 6 and then 3 times 2.
Ha! Wow. Dude, I never realized that. This is happening right now. See how long it took me to process that? That was real.
Hail Satan.
Like you said 3x2 or 3x2, and I sat there for a second and I thought about that. That was real. I just realized what that means.
I'm glad you think.
Yeah, no, I really just thought a second ago. That was crazy. 3x. Dude, I never knew what your name meant.
Never did.
No.
I wondered if other people figured out. I mean,
that's so funny. Well, anybody who made it to the end of this podcast, congratulations. You now know the secret behind Jesse's username.
It's a secret.
You now know the secret behind his Instagram and his what was the other one?
Your Twitter?
His Twitter. His Instagram and his Twitter. And he's yawning, so everyone watching this video is going to have to yawn now because this guy just yawned on y'all. He says sorry, but he's not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Coming at y'all. Hey guys, what's up? This was Ruse TV. This was not Ruse TV. This was Ruse Radio. Ruse Radio episode 12. 1, 2. What's 12 in Spanish?
12.
12. This was Ruse Radio episode 12. And thank you guys so much for being here because I really love you. I might just say that But I don't just say that because I actually really love you, and my love is very immense. And if I ever stopped loving you, then I would die, because love is the only thing I have in my heart, and hate is worthless. And if you're a hateful being, then I feel bad for you, because that stuff's not good for you, man. You just need love. Love is the only thing. Right, Jesse?
Yeah.
All right, man. So that's pretty much it with this podcast. Thank you guys for
Thank you for having me. I hope I'll be back one day.
Oh, you'll be back.
Okay, thanks.
All right, so thank you guys so much. Goodbye. This is gonna be it. It's finally over. It's time. We're gonna end it.
I'm even gonna stop the microphone.
He's gonna stop. Wait. I have to say the words.
What words?
Ruse Radio. Clocking out.